Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
Yes, welcome again to A Mother's Love. We are running a little late. There's a lot happening in our world today. So I'm so sorry about that, but we are now here. Okay, today, again, my name is Ernestine Battles, and this is my co-host, Natalie Battles.
Hey.
And we're A Mother's Love again. And we're talking about how to love our beautiful children in 2021.
Come on,
Happy New Year!
2021, and it's up to a start, y'all. It is up to some kind of start, okay? And we can't brush over the fact that, yes, a lot is going on in the world today. And it really is. But we cannot, my personal opinion, we cannot worry about things that we cannot control.
That's right.
And what is going on in D.C. and a whole lot of other places in this country every single day is out of our control. So I've already coined in 2021 that I'm letting God handle all things above me, okay? And honey, this is above me. So God got it, and I ain't gonna worry about it, okay? And it's not like this the first time them terrorists and trying to take over the government.
Right. So we're going to leave that in God's hands, okay? But we're here today, our brand new show for the 2021. I am so grateful that God allowed us to be here and to speak to you guys once again. And I'm so glad to see you all there. So today again we're talking about our beautiful children and how we can do in teaching them. Last week we had an awesome discussion on disciplines and teaching.
So this is part 2. And this part 2 is very necessary, okay? So I'm already geared up. I got the phone ready for y'all comments, okay? But this is part 2 of what we teach our children. And so we started off last year, ending y'all out with how y'all teach our children and how we teach ours by our actions and the things we say in our everyday life type of behavior and the things we teach our children. But today, for part 2, walking y'all into 2021, we want to talk about how we teach our children in a different way. We want to talk about how we actually teach our children as far as education is concerned. And I have a lot to say about this, actually.
We already know that, right?
I have a lot to say about this. If y'all know me, y'all
she
should
has
know.
a lot to say about
I
this.
have a lot to say about this. I don't know if you want me to start or not, so I'm going to let you get your time. Because, I don't want you to say you reclaim your time in the middle of your show, because it's your show. But I got a lot to say today, y'all.
We know how she got a lot to say almost all the time. But we switching it up. We talked about how to teach them in a different way, like she said last couple of weeks ago. Today we're going to see how we teach them learning like maybe the arts, painting, music, teaching numbers. How do we teach our children? How do we give them the knowledge to do more things? And what do they show us? Because they show us what they like. Some children start off liking music at a real early age. They're singing or they're trying to play an instrument. How do your children show you what they're interested in? Or do we just open their minds up to new things and allow them to choose some of the things that they want to spend their time learning? So I'm going to let Natalie start off because she has been waiting on this one for a while. Come on, Natalie, give us some stuff.
So, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm reposting the video. So, for me, there is a whole lot of different compartments that go into how we educate our children, okay? So, if you don't know, I am the co-founder of the Healing Academy, which is an education-based non-for-profit, which is actually opening up a school. Our school is actually starting this year, 2021, to educate the babies for good reason out here. Okay, y'all? We're starting online based, and pretty soon we're going to have a physical location doing physical classes as well, pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. So this is a hard topic for me. Not a hard topic for me. So, when we talk about educating these babies, we got to be real about a few things.
Come on with it.
Because it's 2021, y'all. We leaving nonsense in 2020. Even though it's trying to follow us over here, we letting God handle all things above us. But the things we can do and be real about is educating our babies and ourselves. So one thing that we doing with the Healing Academy is that we're not only educating the children, we're educating the families also. So we have to understand as adults that we don't know everything.
That's true.
We have to. True. I'm trying to tell you. And the more I do my research, the more I'm developing curriculums, and the more I'm doing this work, I realize just how much I don't know from a base level. Not even just being real philosophical, talking about the world, but from a base education level, there's so much that we do not know. And I think educating our children is something that kind of sadly falls on the back burner, in my personal opinion. Focusing specifically on educating our children. As well as we talked about at the end of last year, the things we're saying to our children, the things we do in front of our children, the shows, the music we allow them to listen to, all of those things teach our children in one way or another, and I think we fall short in those departments, as well as literally book, pencil, pen, educating our children as well. And it's because we don't know what we don't know.
That's true.
We don't know what we don't know. And go ahead.
And this being 2020 has been a trial for some of us parents that has to teach our own children at home.
Yes.
And things have changed so much since I went to school. And since they went to school, my children went to school, it has changed tremendously. So we have to teach ourselves before we teach them.
Or what I'm learning is while we're teaching them, at the same time we're teaching ourselves.
Oh yeah, both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Both ways. We're learning both ways, especially some things that we never even thought about. Some things we're teaching our children now we didn't think about when we were children. Like Natalie is educating now Jaleel in finances. What is money? How do we save money? How do we invest money? Things of that sort. So as I be listening to her teaching him, I was like, oh yeah, you put some of that in there, you know. So we're all learning. And if we got children, we're going to continue to learn because things change so quickly. So quickly. I remember when my oldest was in school and they did math a different way than we did math. And they would bring home one problem a day that they had to do. And I'll be, why do they send y'all through so many steps? All you have to do is this, and this. This is how they taught us. So we made a game and had fun. When she would bring her math work home, me and her would race doing that math problem. I would do it the way the way I was taught in school, and she would do it the way she was taught in school. And at first I was whooping her. I was like, bam, bam, bam. And the best she got, as she continued to do it, she got better and better at it. So she started, beating me. I started getting nervous. I was like, I gotta speed this up a little bit. But when she started beating me, I was like, that means she has it now. I mean, she has it on point, and she really did. So,
but you know what's really good about what you just said in that whole story story in general.
You made a game out of it.
You made a game out of it.
Yeah.
You made it fun. And that's the thing about learning anything new. Even as adults, you know, you don't want to learn nothing new. You go to work and they like, all right, we got to teach you this new software.
Oh,
we got to,
yeah.
baby, you don't want to do that instantly. You know, I got to learn something new, Dad. And
Right.
kids, for the most part, kids feel the same way. But everything they're learning is new. So the best thing I think we can do as parents is to teach our kids that learning is fun. Mm-hmm. And to show them that everything is learning and that they're going to learn every day. And in that, to find the joy in learning. So to play that game, that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, we played it. I was so glad when she had it, and I didn't have to play that game no more. Okay. But it is kind of hard with some of us learning different ways of doing math or different ways of doing science or social studies, and to make this likable to our children and to show them in how they will use this in everyday learning or everyday work. Because when my teacher told me you will use this every day, guess what I said?
Houseway.
Right. I do not use this in everyday life. I got grown. I got a job. And then I was like, oh, I am using this in everyday life, depending on what you do. You use almost everything you learn in everyday life. That's as far as to getting along with your co-workers, to doing the work that you have to do, because in just about everything that you do, you have to know how to add, subtract. You have to know how to talk to people. You got to use science in things. I don't care if it's food service or sending somebody off to the moon. You're using this stuff every single day.
And one thing that I think is really important that we can teach our kids without a book is critical thinking skills.
Oh, yes.
I look at the world around us, and if today was anything for y'all, it should have been a telltale sign that the world, but specifically we're going to talk about Americans right now, we are lacking critical thinking skills. We do not know how to think for ourselves. We are a sheep people. And whether you want to identify yourself as that or not, the majority, we're a sheep people. And it's because we've been trained. We've been trained to do what we're told. And our education system teaches us to do things a particular way, do what we're told, and not think for ourselves. And so in situations, again, like today, and if we really look at the whole structure of our world, if we were critical thinkers, we would look at this and be like, you know what, none of this makes sense. Flip the table, I call BS. And so if we train our children to be critical thinkers, one, they'll be better learners. Mm-hmm. Because they're going to want to figure things out for themselves.
That's right.
And they're going to want to pick up the book, and they're going to want to put the puzzle together, because they're going to want to do it for themselves, because they want to know how it works. Their critical thinking skills are active. But then they also become better people, better citizens of the world, because now they're looking at how things work and why they don't work, so they can fix that now. And so I think critical thinking is one of the biggest things that we can teach our children.
Yeah, and problem solving. Mm-hmm. I mean,
and problem solving.
When I was working, you guys, I have retired. When I was working at school, I was a food service manager at the end of this. So what happens is, if I'm a manager and I'm working and they didn't deliver me enough food, or I didn't have enough of one certain food, do I not fix something for the rest of my children, or I just say, I ain't got it, so what should I do? No, you think. You go back, you look what you got, you say, okay, I ain't got enough of this, but I can make 50 more sandwiches. I made 25 peanut butter sandwiches and jelly, and I made 25 turkey and cheese sandwiches. Or I got a can of ravioli. I'll go in there and I put this can on this can to serve 50 kids. I mean, you cannot say when those children are coming down to eat, or even office work, you cannot say, well, I didn't have enough paper to copy this, so I just didn't do it. No, you have to think and react to whatever that job may be, to what you need and how to get it.
Absolutely.
So when we teach them the problem solve, that's part of that. I don't care, like I said, I don't care what job you have, it is part of that job.
And not even just job, your life. Your life, every single day of your life, no matter how old you are, you're going to have to problem solve. And then these two skills alone, if you take critical thinking and problem solving, you are setting your child up for success. Everything else can be built along the way. But if you teach them critical thinking and problem solving, you think about, we're going to put this in a life situation. Think about you as a teenager, middle school, high school, college student, grown it in that thing. You've been put in situations where afterwards, you thought about that thing and be like, all right, you know what? That wasn't for my greater good. I probably shouldn't have been with them people. I probably shouldn't have talked to him. I probably shouldn't have been with her. I
probably should have studied last night.
I probably shouldn't have went to that party.
That test, you know.
I probably should have did my homework. Critical thinking skills. When you can work that thing out, you're setting your kids up for success. And then in general, we are raising self-sufficient human beings. As parents, that should be the goal. We are raising people in this world to be able to take care of themselves and make this world a better place than how they received it.
Yes.
That should be the goal as a parent. So if we're not teaching them to critically think and look at the world around them, call BS when they need to, if we're not teaching them to problem solve, how are they going to solve the multitude of problems that they will have in their life and that we already know that exist in this world if we're not already setting them up to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then outside of that, another thing that you can do without a book, confidence.
Oh, yeah.
That's the third piece to that. Critical thinking, problem solving, and confidence. Your kid can conquer the world. And then add on the math, reading, writing, arithmetic, and everything else that goes between that. But if you can install problem solving, critical thinking, and confidence, because they can think about the problem, they can see the problem all day and night, they can have an answer to the problem because they didn't problem solve. But if they don't have the confidence to step up and say, hey, this is wrong, or hey, I think I can come up with a better way,
right,
then it's going to always be in their mind and nothing is going to change. Our children lack confidence. They don't have the wherewithal within them because we don't install it in them to conquer the world and say, I can do this. It makes my heart smile when Jaleel says, I can do this. I bag back. Yes, you can. You go right ahead. Yes, you can. You can do anything.
And when they do it, let them know that they did a good job.
Absolutely.
And so many people, our race, okay, we have been torn down from the beginning. So we've been torn down when they brought us over here. We was not taught to read. We been not speak back. We had to hold our heads down. And when we teach our children, we have to let them know that it is anything that they can do. And when they do, we have to let them know that they did good.
Because we definitely let them know when they do wrong.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. We can't just get on them when they do something wrong. We have to let them know that they're doing something good. And they can do anything that they put their minds to. I told each and every one of my children, you can do anything you put your mind to. I don't care what they may say you are. You're not. Because what you say you are and how you feel and think up here is what you're going to become. And if we're putting them down up here, they can't think of anything to lift them up. So we got to lift them up in the things that they're doing. And we got to look.
Even when they're wrong.
Right. Even when they're
Even
wrong.
when we tired. tired. Come on, look at me, family. We be tired. I know you tired. I be tired. I be like, God, you ain't hear me the 15th time I said that? I know. But even in that feeling, even in the time, you gotta encourage, and you gotta do it with love, and you gotta teach them to believe in themselves. Because if we don't install these things in them when they're young, before they get out of the house, once that door opens, the world is gonna tell them they everything but great.
That's right. And then you already instilled it in them. I don't care who tell them they ain't great. They gonna say, Because my mama and my daddy told me as a little child that I can do anything. I can pull the greatness up out of me. I am a king and I am a queen, and it is nothing that I can't do.
Yes.
We must tell them that. We must tell them it is nothing that you can't do. I told mine they could be the first president of the United States if they want to.
Look at Rock that made it through. Okay, Michelle, first lady. I bet she could be president too. I bet she will. But listen, she don't want it no more.
Right. But that's okay.
No more. We don't want it. Return the sender. But we can't, and that's the thing that's lacking within us as a people. Melanated people in this country, like my mother said, has been put down so much. And at a certain point, we beat ourselves down as parents. We beat our children down because we didn't want them to stand out too much. Because then they were a target. Right. We didn't want them to be too great. We didn't want them to have too many talents because then they were a target. So it was a safety precaution to keep them real mediocre in the middle, float under the radar. We got to stop that. And though this has been some generational things that have occurred, when you know better, you do better. Yeah. I started by saying we don't know what we don't know. Half the time we don't know why we've been doing the same things, eating the same things, drinking the same things, saying the same things, working in the same place, believing in the same thing our whole life, and we don't question it. That's those critical thinking skills. But we can't be sheep anymore because we're raising kings and queens. We're raising lions and lionesses. We can't raise them as sheep no more because their energy knows who they are. Our DNA knows who we are. We can't raise them as sheep. That's a lion. We can't raise her as no sheep. She a lioness. Mm-hmm. We can't raise them that way anymore. And so this is one thing that I want you guys, if you take anything away from this, know your greatness first. Because that's a lot of part of the problem. We don't know what we don't know. You are amazing. You are great. You are worthy. You can do anything you put your mind to. You have to know that and believe that first, and then tell it to your children.
That's right.
Because children, we talked about this last year, on the last show, they do what they see.
That's right. That's right. And if they see greatness in you, they're definitely going to see greatness in themselves.
Absolutely. And show them other people that look like them being great. One thing that I try to do with my company, Melanated America, that's the whole reason why I created, was to control our narrative, to take back our stories. If we keep allowing other people to tell our stories and then we keep watching it and letting our kids watch it, then we can't be confused on why they feel the way they feel or why they're confused in who they are and who they're meant to be, because we're not giving them representations that look like them. My son got ABC Mouse. That ain't a black company. No, it ain't. But his teacher in the classroom is a black man. You can pick a white woman. He's a black man. That teacher is a black man in that classroom when he go to ABC Mouse. Yes, he is. You see that? If he want to be a teacher, he know he can. I show him books. The authors and all the books. Don't you send no other books other than a black author in my house. Listen. He look at the book. I show him the picture. This is the author. This person wrote this book. If it's a woman, he said beautiful brown queen. Absolutely, son. If it's a man, that's a brown king. Absolutely, son. You have to ingrain this in them at an early age because that internalizes into them. They've seen, you're creating the world that they are going to live in for the rest of their life. You're creating that for them by teaching them these things early.
Yes. And like I told y'all last week, it starts from the womb. You start teaching them from here and keep it going once they get here, because we want those black kings and queens. We want them to know and be confident in themselves. to when they go. And when they go to school, they want to be showing what they got. They want to show that I want to learn. They want the knowledge. They want to be hungry. So we want them
hungry again.
Of that knowledge.
Stay hungry again, Mom.
I ain't
They hungry. Okay.
They hungry and they want that hunger. That of the knowledge that we can teach them right then at home.
Absolutely.
Before they dock the door, if we wasn't in pandemic.
Dock the door. Come on.
Before they go out that door to go to school or to go to any jobs or whatever, they already know who they are.
Come on.
Because we taught them at home who they are and whose they are. So once they get that in them, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for somebody to tell them who they ain't.
Absolutely.
You can't tell them who they not.
Mama got boss shouting up here. I'm shouting too, baby. I'm shouting too, boss.
Boss is shouting. Y'all excuse boss. He over there playing with his
speaking,
phone.
though. She's speaking, and boss felt it. I felt it. I know y'all felt it too, okay? But one thing that I think is important that we have to remember, too, is setting them up with those foundations like critical thinking and problem solving and allowing them to do certain things for themselves and try again and letting them know that you're going to have to try again in life because you're not going to get it the first time every time. Those type of things are so important. That confidence to let them know that they could, so important. But another thing is, going back to we don't know what we don't know, as parents, a lot of the time, and I'm doing this right now, and my babies too, right? And I told you we're opening up this school so that we can create this army of melanated, beautiful brown babies that know who they are and whose they are. And I'm showing them the Carfax. We're going back to Africa. Let me show you where we began. Let me show you our greatness. We wrote the first books. We had medicine, astrology, mathematics. We did that and gave it to the world. Don't let them fool you into thinking you can't do it or you don't deserve it because you created it. Okay?
That's right.
But I ain't finna go too far on y'all. But this is the type of school that we are creating. And so these are the type of babies and brilliant minds that we are molding. You're going to know you're amazing. And the world ain't going to be able to stop you. Imagine teaching a child that plus advanced education from pre-K to 12th grade.
All right. When they go to college, baby, they're going to be teaching the class.
Shutting it down. You hear me talking to you? And that's the type of army of young people we need to be creating because no matter how corny it sounds, no matter how many songs people write about it, the children are the future. When we're gone, they're left. So when we look at the young people today and we're judging them, we created them.
And we want them to be our future. Because we got a lot of them taking our young people out.
Mm-hmm.
They taking them out before they can get to where they supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we got to teach them at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we got to let them know who they are and who they are. That when they go out in the street and they make it in this cruel world, because it's cruel, that they can do the things that they have to do to pull their own people up.
That part.
From the, we got to reach down. Sometimes we got to reach down so far to grab one of our own and pull them up with us. We want them to be, I don't want to be up with me. Matter of fact, I want them to go up higher. I want them to go up higher than where I came from. So we have to learn that we gotta help our people up. We can't put our foot down on them no more and leave them down there where they at and say I made it where I'm at. They gotta make it too. No, we gotta help each other make it.
And that's the principles of Kwanzaa. And people laugh at Kwanzaa. People don't understand Kwanzaa. People don't even know what Kwanzaa is, honey. But the 7 principles of Kwanzaa is 365. And you may have seen me post it if you have me personally on Facebook or anywhere else. 365 Kwanzaa. You may celebrate the 7 days and the festivities in December, but unity, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, creativity, self-determination, determining and defining oneself. These are things that we should be practicing every day. I'm coming up with a formula and teaching our babies because we're wondering why our communities aren't flourishing. We're not teaching those 7 principles. And we don't even know what Kwanzaa is. If we were teaching those 7 principles to our children every single day, they're going to live by that. Again, we're creating the world for them.
And back again, you guys, love one another. And love your neighbor as you love yourself.
And take care of your neighbor.
That's how we make it. We got to make it in this world. I mean, it was a point of time when our grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers, they looked out at each other. You might have had Miss Josephine that lived down the street. She died and didn't have nobody take care of her kids. Guess what? That your great-great-grandma say, come on, boy, get on over here.
No court, no paperwork necessary.
No court, no paperwork. You grew up saying, this my cousin. Or this my brother because my mama took a mean.
Unity.
Or something like that. So
community.
We have to watch out for each other. Take care of each other.
And when we talk about absolutely, and when we talk about education, when we talk about higher education, it was originally when we talk about HBCUs and different things like that, that was originally kind of used to divide and give white folks a buffer, to be honest, with the different types of black people they created. They wanted to create a middle class so they ain't have people so poor that they come up on them. That's literally why HBCUs were created, if we want to be 100 about it. Love HBCUs. Ain't nothing wrong with it, I guess. But higher education in general, when we talk about it, the best thing we can do to set our children up, we want them to go to higher education. I went to college, best experience of my life. I gave a degree to my mama. I ain't go for the degree. I went for the experience. I learned a lot, met a lot of great people, okay? But higher education is amazing. But the thing is with that is don't go to higher education and then don't come back to your community. Amen. Don't go get a doctorate from Harvard or Yale or Duke or any of these other organizations and businesses and companies, which is what universities are, and then not come back to your community to give back to your community. Teaching those principles of Kwanzaa and teaching a sense of responsibility, that collective work and responsibility is one thing, so that they know to come back. Send them off. Go get the education. Go be the best you can get, collect all the knowledge you can collect, and then come back and put that back in your community. That part is essential, but we have to instill that into them at home, because the modern current school systems aren't going to do that. The Healing Academy will, but all these other schools, they won't do that. And so that's up to us. And again, going back to we don't know what we don't know, we're not thinking about that. And as parents, it's understandable. A lot of times we working, we trying to put food on the table, we trying to make sure the lights stay on, we trying to make sure these kids got clothes, they ain't got holes in their shoes. We trying to make sure their needs are met. And I get that, family. I get that. But we have to take the time to learn what we don't know to teach our children. I was just talking about this yesterday, and I'll say it every day if I need to. The public school system failed me. Okay? There's a lot that I know I don't know, but it's my fault if I stay there. Now that I know, I have to do something about it. And so as I'm training and I'm teaching my son, that's why I said a lot of times you can teach yourself but didn't teach your kid, or you can learn while you're teaching them. Mm-hmm. I'm doing my research to know what a 2-year-old needs to know. What do a 2-year-old need to know? What's pre-K curriculum? Are we looking into these things? Are we looking at what are our milestones that our children are supposed to meet at certain age groups? I'm going to be honest with y'all. I know most of us ain't doing it.
I know I didn't do it.
I know most of us ain't doing it because we don't know what we don't know. But we got to figure it out. So I'm like, all right, what do a 2-year-old need to know? What's those milestones? All right, I'm giving him assessment tests. All right, okay, he needs a little help on that. So next week we're going to work on that. All right, we're going to work on writing. They need to know how to write. We're going to work on writing your name. What else he needs to know? I'm going to make sure he's getting that information. Same thing. 3rd grade. Your kid in 3rd grade, what's these milestones that a 3rd grader needs to know? And do that for every grade level so you can make sure. Because we give our kids to the school system and be like, y'all got it right? All right, let me know when graduation come around. I pay them fees. We can't do that anymore because they're not properly educating our children, and we don't even know what they're supposed to know. So we have to be following along with them to make sure. Yeah, Mama, let me read y'all comments. I got y'all. I told y'all I got a lot to say about this topic. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm going to these comments. Go ahead.
She got a lot to say about
I got a lot to say.
Comments and stuff. And everything she's saying is good because a lot of things we don't know. And as we started this off from day one, the first thing we said was we don't know it all. That's why we all here together. That we can discuss what I know, you can tell me what you know, and we're going to learn and hold each other up together.
Yes, and hit them comments, y'all. Let us know how you feel. I'm going to read a couple. So Chanel here, we got Chanel. She said, yes, our children must know that we are more than slaves, rappers, and basketball players. Absolute facts. We are more than their entertainment because we've been their entertainment since they brought us over here.
Yes.
Okay? We are their educators. Okay? I was going to say some more stuff, but listen. I can call me if you want to talk about it. But we are more than just their entertainment. And I'm in the entertainment field, so don't get me wrong. If that's your passion, if you think that's your purpose and that's what you want to do, baby, you do that thing because that's for you.
That's that acting. But let me tell you something. In the entertainment field and in the arts, it is so much education in knowing the arts that you wouldn't even believe.
Yes, God.
I mean, even walking into our black galleries, seeing the paintings on the walls that's been done, looking at them express what they feel what's happening now today. Or what happened back in the day.
That's still happening today.
That's happening now today. I mean, we have young people. I never forget, it was a young girl. She was
about 15,
16 years old. Did this awesome portrait. And they came and they talked about why they did these things and why they feel the way they felt when they did their art. And I mean, they had you in tears.
Yeah.
Not thinking that these young people knew anything about what was going on.
They see everything.
But they see and know everything. Even if they don't come to you. But you want your child to come to you. And ask you some questions.
Well, you wrote it up.
And right, to see what they know. But you need to know what's going on also, because a lot of times we don't even know what's going on. Like she said, we're working, they in school, we working all day, we going by the grocery store, we trying to get home by the time they get there and fix them something to eat and get their baths in, get them to bed. Take me about 5 or 10 minutes before it's time for me to go to bed. And we're just busy all day long. We got to take some that critical time with our children. We got to learn about what's going on in their schools. We got to learn about what's going on in their life. Because schools and even outside is not the same it was when you was coming. It is not the same. I mean, working around
just the fact that these kids got internet alone.
They go through some stuff that you wouldn't even think they were going through at a young age right now.
So going back to the comments, Carlisa said learning daily. She also said really boss with the cry laughing emoji because boss felt mama's spirit. What she said, boss felt it in his spirit as well. She also said yes, retired. Come on for you being retired. I don't know if y'all caught my class, but yes, she doing it, y'all. Yes, for being retired. The space to figure things out on their own is what Chanel Lane said. Absolutely. We got a lot of affirmations. Yes, that's right. Period. In here too. Some love. We love y'all. Thank you, Kendall. We love you back. We love you back.
We love you guys. I tell you. I ask you guys to come in, give us some comments, give us something that you want to hear about. I'm not waiting to the end. If you want to get on, you got a question and you want to get on screen to talk about it, let us know. That's why we got this technical young lady over here to do all that stuff. Cause mama don't know how to do all that stuff.
Right,
Okay.
We learn and teach
But I'm learning. I'm learning. So.
Hey family. We must teach our children. Well said. I love you guys. We love you back. That's from Mildred. Thank you, girl. We love you back. We love you back. A whole lot of amens and yeses. Oh, from Chanel Lane. Don't just follow. Even if you are a part of a huge group, just because there are many doesn't mean that they are right.
Oh.
Or right for you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That's facts right there. More affirmations, more amens, and following throughs there.
Yeah. So we know that I like that one Chanel just said, because even because you're in a big crowd, especially with our our teenage children, and I used to say it was just teenagers, but now it's 9, 10 years old children and younger, because I didn't have babies from kindergarten, first grade tell me they ain't no babies, they grown people, and they can cuss you out just like they was your age. So
where they learn that?
We have to let them know just being part of the crowd ain't always right for you. Okay.
That's that critical thinking.
Right, that's what I was finna say. Because when you teach them to think, when you teach them to hear and see what's going on, and if they wanna decide to stay in that or to get away from that situation, and Proverbs, it talks about if you're around somebody that said, come on, let's go rob somebody or hurt somebody, you have the right to say, no, I'm not going to go do that, y'all. I'll see y'all later. And separate yourself from that person, okay, or that group. So you
baby, everybody ain't for you.
Everybody ain't for you.
I'm going to let you finish. Y'all know
wait a minute. Even grown folks. Let's get off of these babies.
Because we don't know and we ain't learned.
Let's get off of these babies. Us as grown adults need to know to get away from some people sometime. That we around people that we ain't got no business being around sometime. We got to let them go too. So,
we got to be all right with being by ourselves. And we got to teach our kids that.
Yeah, if they're not right for you, then you need to separate yourself.
And it's also energy. I tell people all the time to watch what you eat, right? And I mean that literally, watch the food you eat. But I mean that in a multitude of different ways. Every hole in your body, you ingesting what goes through it, right? What you listening to, what you hear. You eating that. Your body is absorbing that, right? Taking it for nutrients, okay? What you put in, the food you actually eat for life. Because we eat for life. And we also eat ourselves to death. The things we put in our body, right? The things we watch. The things we see. The things we say, okay? All of it. The things we actually say. But also the people that are around you. It's scientifically proven. We all got auras. We all got energy, okay? And energy cannot be destroyed. It's only transferred. So energy is a real thing. The people that you are around can literally impact your life.
Yes.
In a multitude of different ways. By their decisions, by their action, but just by their own behavior and being around you. They can impact your life. So we got to make sure that we are around like-minded people and like energy people or above.
Amen.
Okay? And that's not saying you can't kick it with certain people because they ain't saying that. But is their energy right? But is their mind right? If not, you need to leave that thing alone, honey, and let them for where they at. I'm not telling you not to love that person. I ain't telling you not to talk to that person. But you got to learn to love people for who they are and where they are. And then you be where you going. Okay?
Right.
And that's something that you teach your children. Because there's going to be times they're going to want to kick it with people. And you gotta show them emotional maturity as well. And that's something that we're not teaching our kids. Our kids don't know how to deal with their emotions. Adults don't know how to deal with their emotions. That's why we have most of the problems we have in the world, because we worried about what somebody done said or what somebody gonna think or what somebody gonna do. And we have to heal ourselves from these things as adults, because we've been doing it since they were kids, and they are damaging our lives, our souls, our spirits.
Right.
And if we don't fix it, It's our fault.
But we have to talk. We have to be able to talk to our children, try to lead them in the right direction. Sometimes we can't be forceful and tell them, no, you ain't going over here. No, you ain't going. I mean, some situations, yeah. But the more you try to forcefully keep them from something is the time that they're going to try to go to it when they're not around you.
Let them use those critical thinking skills.
I remember a story. I was talking to my friend Arthur Marshall. I was talking to her one day last week, and I brought up a story that my mom told me. And I had a friend that was young. We was still in grammar school, and she got pregnant. And my mother never told me not to hang with her. She never told me that. She just told me, she'd sit down, she explained to me, yeah, she going through a little different things that you might want to be around. She said, that's your friend. You can see her. You can judge on yourself if you want to be in that situation or not. But she's doing things that's different from you at this particular time. And so I was like, okay, yeah, cool. And I used to go over her house. And I went over to her house and seen her in a different light than I usually see her, at school or something like that. And I did not like it. I did not like it. So I stopped hanging. Yeah, I stopped going over there hanging. Did I leave her as a friend? No. I always talked to her when I seen her. She was cool with me, but I stopped hanging. And it wasn't because my mama told me I couldn't do it. It was because I made my own decision for what I seen with my own eyes that I didn't want to be in that situation.
And that was because of what your mom instilled in you up until that point.
Right.
And she allowed you to make your own choice and use them critical thinking skills.
That's right. And so sometimes we have to just sit and talk to them and find out what's going on with them. And who they're around. You got to find out who our kids hang around. Stuff happen, and they be like, well, they was with this person. I don't know that person. Who was that person? Oh, they friend live down the street. He don't do nothing, and that be the main one.
Doing everything.
That be doing everything. So just have a conversation with them and let them know some of the things that you feel that's good, some of the things that you feel that's bad. Let them talk to them and give them the chance to talk back to you and to give them the chance to make some choices that they may have to make on their own. I have talked to a lot of my children about some things that I didn't like, but it was not for me to like. Even as they was grown, I conversated with them about situations and stuff, and they had to make their own choices. And I must say, sometimes I didn't think they was going to make them choices, but eventually, on their own, they departed from the people that was trying to pull them down. Don't forget, we raising everybody up today.
Come on.
From this day on, we pulling people up if we can pull them up.
And know that sometimes you're going to have to leave people alone. Know that you can't save everybody because it's a choice to want to do better. And just because you want to do better don't mean the people that you around going to want to do better. And that's where you got to love people for where they at. And I'm just all right.
Never stop loving.
Love them for where they at.
Never stop loving them, Just be. I have another friend. I have millions of stories. I have a friend that grew up with me in my church war memorial at the time, and her name was Sharonda Swanson. And she was going off to college, and she said, I'm a couple of years older than her, so she said, I'm going to college and our lives are never going to be the same. We're not going to be close like we used to be. And I told her, girl, if you see me 20 years from now, I'm going to be the same person I was then 20 years ago. And exactly, we still kept in touch while she was in college, but she came home, she got married, we didn't talk that much, but every time we talked, we left off just like we were still together all them years ago. And so what I'm saying is, you don't have to stop loving nobody, and you don't even have to change. Just remember that when you get back with them, you can still show them some love. I don't care what they're going through. A lot of our friends and families going through a whole different change from us. Some of them become alcoholics. Some of them become drug addicts. Some of them become down and out. But just because they are that does not mean that you cannot show them some love. Whenever you see them or whenever you talk to them, show them just as much love that day that you did from the last time you seen them. You never know how that will help somebody. It may just pull them up. We're talking about pulling them up. It may just pull them up from where they at and start them on a whole nother route. So,
that's the truth.
I know we've been talking a long time.
We ain't even at our hour yet. But I do want to start bringing it right on around and closing out what we are talking about for you guys today. We got a few minutes left. We talking about what we teach our children. And we ended out the year with it, and we wanted to start off the year with the part 2 and go a little more in depth, because this is you as parents, you as aunties, you as uncles, you as grandparents, you as guardians, you as friends. We are setting the tone for these young people's lives. Good, bad, otherwise, we are setting the tone. So when we talk about education, it's what you teach them with what you say. It's what you teach them with what you do. It's what you teach them with your behavior. But it's also the education component. It's also that math, making learning fun, making games out of it. It's also instilling that confidence and that love of learning within them. Ooh, everything's new. Everything's a new experience. Ooh, look what you're learning today. Making it exciting and making it fun for them, so that can carry out through the rest of their lives. And we have to be patient, because they're learning for the first time. We may have learned it years ago, if it's an ABC, if a 1 plus 1 is 2, but they're learning for the first time. So I know a lot of times we can get frustrated if they don't get it right away. And we also got to know there's different types of learners in the world. And we don't know which one we have until we figure it out. We don't know what we don't know. Okay? But we have to make sure that we continue to encourage them to learn, even when they don't get it right away. Because the way we react to them will be the way they react to themselves.
Yes.
So that's one thing I definitely wanted to mention to you guys before we get ready to head out. We have to find patience. And if you need to take a moment and walk away, if you're getting too frustrated or irritated or whatever it is, please do so. And then come back and say you're sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. Baby, I be like, Jaleel, right? And sometimes they know and they just don't do it, okay? All of those different things, but sometimes we have to be in control of our emotions so we can show them how to handle theirs, right? We talked about how emotional maturity can guide them, make or break them through the rest of their life. So we have to be patient with them, and if we make a mistake, say you're sorry. Say you're sorry, and teach them to say they're sorry, so that they can correct their behavior and you can correct yours, and you guys can start from a clean slate, because nobody's perfect, not mommy, not daddy, not the child. But we gonna work together. I tell you all the time, I said we a team. I'm gonna try my best to do better. If you try your best to do better, and we a team, right? We gonna work together. We both gonna be better, right? Yep. Okay, cool. We gonna try again. And that's how you gotta do it. And you gotta keep the energies high when you're learning, even when it's a frustrating time. Because again, that's that love for learning. That's that search of fun in learning that you want them to keep for the rest of their life. And making sure that we know what our children is supposed to know. so that we can stay on top of their progress and make sure they are where they're supposed to be, and we can step in and help whenever we can. Because we already talked about how a lot of times we not there, we ain't got the time or whatever. But if we know where they're supposed to be, even if we don't have the time, we can make sure someone else does. Even if it's an auntie, because it takes that village to raise a child. If it's a cousin, if it's somebody, okay, they having a little struggle right in this area, they supposed to be here, but then they're here. Can you help them today? Can you just call them and check on them and work through these math problems real quick while I'm at work? Call in your reinforcements. You got help. You got help. Even if you think you don't. A lot of times we do. We just ain't reached out to the right ones yet. So reach out to your resources and follow along with your children's progress. Know where they are and know what they're supposed to learn so that you can help them get to the next level or above or where they're supposed to be. We mentioned 3 key critical things to teach your children outside of a book. Confidence. Teach your children confidence so they can go out here and conquer this world, baby. Tell them they're amazing because they are. Tell them they can do anything because they can. And you tell yourself that every day. Affirmations are important. Teach your kids early what affirmations are. Teach them how to make up their own. Teach them how to speak life onto themselves. We talked about the power of your own words and how that can bring life or death onto you and to others. Be mindful of what you say. Teach that to your children, right? And then we talked about critical thinking skills. Please teach your kids how to be some thinkers. Please teach your friends' kids how to be some thinkers. Please teach the neighbors' kids. Community unity, Kwanzaa, okay? Please teach these kids how to be critical thinkers. And then problem-solving skills. Teach them how to solve problems so they can be productive citizens in this world. Because, again, the point of teaching our kids anything is so that they can leave this world better than how they inherited it. The point of teaching them is to make sure that they can live a beautiful life without you.
Yeah. So, I think that's about it tonight, you guys. We talk about a whole lot of stuff in a little bitty time. But I love you guys. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for sharing. Don't forget, put something in the texts to let us know what you would like to know, something that you may be going through or want to question. This is about being a mother's love, but we have to love ourselves. So even if it's not about your child, what do you need us to talk about? Remember, love is rooted in happiness, and we're that root, and we gotta feed that tree.
Come on, the nourishment.
And so, from now until then, again, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
And we will see you in the next 2 weeks. See you guys.
See you guys. Drop those comments down below.
Stay blessed. Stay safe.
Let go, let God.
And let God handle the rest.
Come on, I'm letting God handle all things above us. And you do what you can do. Teach them babies.
All
See y'all later.
See ya.